From Enugu to the world, he's built a catalogue of confidence wrapped in Igbo pride. When he steps to the mic, it's not just music, it's manifesto, punchlines with purpose, albums with agenda. He has redefined what it means to be a cultural custodian and is still always rooted, yet diverse. From co-creating with masterminds to building stars, starring in blockbusters to producing some, he's done it all. You've heard the voice, you've felt the weight in the words. Now, meet the mind behind the mission. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oga Boss, Ill Bliss.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of CreativiTEA. Woo! Yes, that's more like it. My name is Linda Agwacha, and today we have a very important guest in the house. We always have important guests, but this one is super important. Oh, and one of the reasons is because I knew him from way back. He's my person, and he's been in the creative industry for the longest time. Today we're going to get a lot of gems from him because he's been there as a creative. He's managed brands, he's managed creatives, and he's still kicking it till today. And he's going to give us all the tea on how he was able to achieve success and longevity in the business. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Oga Boss, Ill Bliss.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm amazing.
You look amazing.
Thank you
by
so
the
much.
way.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you
Yeah,
for
please,
having
you
me on
haven't
your show.
changed since when I knew you from way back till now. You did not change a bit. At least I changed, right?
Yes, you did. You got richer.
No!
You got
You're not serious.
you got richer. You have a really successful show.
You got
Yeah.
richer too, so it
Yeah.
makes both of us.
Yeah, we thank God.
We thank God for everything. It's been years. I knew
Yes.
Ill Bliss from when I was working in a TV station.
Yeah.
And he's been a creative all round from then. I can remember the first conversation I had with you because I think I don't know where we met, but then I was hosting a show on Galaxy TV called Unmask, where
Yeah.
I actually go behind the scenes of music videos and record it and package it into a program and put it on TV. And then Illbliss came to me and said, "Oh, I've seen one of your shows. You should come and cover some of our production." I was like, yeah. And that's how I started covering all of Clarence's shoots at that time. Clarence Peters, one of the best directors we've ever had in the country. I started covering his shoot because he has a partner like Illbliss who knew, even back then, the importance of PR, the importance of promoting yourself. So, Illbliss,
Yes, babe.
it's like this thing has been in you from beginning. Did you learn it, or is it just something that you got by talent, just like rapping?
First of all, before we get to that point, you
Mm.
should send me some money.
Ah,
Yeah. You should just write a big check and say, "Yo, my big homie, man, for all the inspiration. Like this is for you." But I
honestly.
mean, thank you. I thank God that you listened, because a lot of people might have just thought it was industry chit chat, but you listened and you implemented. And I went on to see you at so many of those videos, like in the behind the scenes for a lot of Clarence videos. You came in there, you come in with a crew, shoot, cut it together. And these are the bedrocks of what Afrobeats became. Because in that generation, or in that era, a lot of artists were struggling to come up. There were no proper record labels, no international label affiliations.
Yeah.
People were just privately funding their music and funding their music videos. But you were there. It was almost like you have rare footage from that particular era, minus the videos. So it's incredible. And just look at that. You dial up, fast forward to this very moment that we're seated here, and you have such a successful show. Like, I've seen the past episodes.
Thank you.
It's
so
incredible.
much.
It's a journey.
Yeah,
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
It wasn't in me, just to answer your question. I just at that point, at different points in my career, I've always felt like people were on a journey, growing. And sometimes it takes some other person to look at you and look at the real potential that that lies or that was basically inside the person that they were yet to come up with. So at that point, I just felt just working at a TV station just wasn't enough for this girl, and just maybe she could go from the videos into becoming something else. And did you become something else?
Okay, so now let's talk about you now before we start talking about me in this interview.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go back.
Mhm.
Illbliss. So even as at the time I knew, I'm talking about like 10, 15 years
Yeah,
ago,
I go.
right? Even then, you already had hits. You were already successful, right?
Yeah,
And I think I actually met you in the second phase of your life when you were going into businesses, not just rapping
not just
anymore.
rapping
Yes.
anymore. Yeah,
So I think we should talk about that a bit. First of all, let's talk about you as a rapper
yeah,
and then you as a business guy.
yeah. Okay. I was born and raised in Enugu.
Exactly.
I came from the coal city. We popularly call it the 042 because of the phone code.
I
So,
know.
and when I finished from the University of Nigeria and Soka, I got on the bus and I came to Lagos against my parents' wishes. They wanted me to stay back in the south. You know how our parents
But why
get,
did you want to come?
because every single thing I wanted to actualize was near non-existent in the East End. I wanted to be a rapper. That wasn't the soundscape for when I was growing up. It was more of high life music, and some pop here and there. So I just decided, and then I had a lot of Lagos friends.
Okay.
My Lagos friends they would come from Lagos to uni in UNN, and they were always very fly. They always had more sneakers. They always had more clothes. Before you know, one will come back with a car. I'm like, how can you come back with a car? I'm still like, how do you own a car at uni level? And it's just because Lagos was a more thriving economy, and the heartbeat of commerce for the country. So they started to tell me, listen, man, there's a station called Ray Power. And they play a lot of hip hop music. You should come to Lagos, man. There are groups like Tribesmen. There are rappers like Rugged Man, and so on and so forth. Two-Face DBI. Let's just come to Lagos and try. So I had it at the back of my head that once I finish uni, I'll just move to Lag. So while my parents were planning their keep me back in the East, my service, I had dialed up my service and headed towards Lagos. So I came in here and started my youth service here. But I had music at the back of my head. My first job in Lagos was I was a banker. So I was a banker for 4 years. Yes, I was a banker for 4 years. Went through 3 different banks and got to assistant manager level in banking. So
Wow.
yeah, I have all kinds of experience: customer care, treasury, commercial banking, oil and gas, everything, risk management. So as at the time you were meeting me, that was why I never looked at music like, just the way typical artists look at it. Like you wake up around 11 in the morning, smoke, make a few calls, drink, record music, go to sleep. I didn't understand. And I'm not saying this is how every artist lives, but I've seen a lot of people just say, oh, I'm an artistic guy, so I'll just stay at home and stay at home and my team will be working. I didn't understand what a team meant. Everything was wired to me. While I was busy hustling the streets of Lagos trying to find accounts, I was also rapping low key, but my bosses couldn't know that because it was a total taboo for you to be an artist.
Yeah.
You understand? So so every time I would go to a radio station for an interview, I would have all my clothes packed in a little bag, like my hip hop clothes. So when I get there, I'll bring out my suits, pack it, change, and come out and be able to do the interview. So I wouldn't do it in a suit. One day, this couldn't happen because I just for some reason didn't bring the clothes from home. And I think it was Rhythm FM or something I was going to. So when I got there, I now walked up to the receptionist and said, I'm here for an interview. And she said, okay, good afternoon, sir. Are you our banker? Because I had the whole suit tie with my bank tag. And I'm like, no, my name is Ill Bliss and I'm here to do an interview. The woman said, oh, wow. So you're a musician? I said, okay, come and fill this form. This one is just an Oga Boss. So she just wrote it down and gave me. And so while I was going in, I was like, I like that name. Oga Boss. Oh, wow. This is it. This is what it's going to be. And that's how a receptionist in a radio station
Give you your
just
name.
christened me something, and I'm like, this is the kind, because Ill Bliss sometimes, and this is from a branding perspective, because I know your show touches on
Yes.
branding,
Yeah.
brands and marketing. So when you say Ill Bliss, Oga Boss, they choose Oga Boss.
Yeah.
They say Ill Bliss is a mouthful. They can't remember, so they call me Ill Bliss. Bliss, they've Idris. There's nothing they haven't called me. But when it's Oga Boss, it's so easy for them,
yeah.
to remember. So from my journey is long, so this is how this is how I got into the business in Lagos, and I've been here ever since then. So while the East bettered us, Lagos made us. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So your hits, you made hit songs back then.
Oh yeah.
You made a lot of them.
Ayepogo with Terry G was my first. It was the first commercially successful record that I made. Before then, and this is around the time I was meeting Clarence. This was 2007, 2000. Yeah. I made another record. I made a record called You Go Undo, featuring Kel and Suspect.
Yeah.
So Clarence already had a label called Capitol Hill Music, and I had my career was just about to kick off, and I had this company called the Goretti Company. So Clarence and I got into a partnership, and I told him, okay, let me put your artist on the record, you shoot the video. So Clarence went ahead to shoot it with a DSLR camera. I don't think that video was up to 20,000 naira. So we just shot that video. It was so viral. It was crazy. When the song came out, it went ahead to win at the SMVAs for best hip hop video. And it was so incredible. They didn't even let me in easily into the venue. Because while I got to the cab, I'm like, I'm a nominee. Then, please give space. And then you see Baba Keke, them, and the rest of the big boys in the industry walking in nicely. So, but immediately you win, things change. The energy in the room will change, and all the media people will start chasing you around. Okay, how do you feel winning? So, Clarence is a very pivotal part of my career. Yeah, Clarence and I, our partnership, we created so much magic in this business.
And that was when I met you, when you had that partnership.
Thank you very much. Clarence. Yes, when I did Ayepogo with Terry G, I hadn't met you by then. So that was chapter 1 of my career. So around that 2012, when I started, when I partnered with Clarence, and we started to look into my second album called Oga Boss. So that's where all of that started, and then Fino came, and Chidinma, and Suspect, and the rest is history. Yeah. So I made a lot of records. I've made a lot of big records in my career, and I'm still there, and I'm still trying to make more records, because for some reason I just feel like music, you could do it till the moment you say I'm tired. Yeah. I hate ageism. I hate it when people put a cap over what you can be or what you can do, and say, oh, Nigerians like to do that a lot. They like to put people in a box, and they like to say, oh, in time, don't go. No, but that's never agreed to that. I never did. And thank God for that.
In that second phase of your life, that was when I met you. Yes. When you had already gotten your hits, and then you were working with Clarence Peters.
Yeah.
And I want to believe that you were one of those people that actually took care of the business side to make Capitol Hills what it is today. So, but first of all, let's start from, how did you meet Clarence Peters?
First time I saw Clarence was on set for Jimmy Jat's Styley. We were shooting somewhere in Ikeja GRA, some place called Midi Cup, and it was a DJT video. But Clarence was on set, and I got on set, and I found out I was just fascinated by what Nigerian music had become, because when I left banking, I moved to England for some years. In my absence, the business changed drastically. So when I came back, I found out there was record labels like Storm, Question Mark. A lot of them had cropped up next to Kenny's music as well. So, and Jimmy Jat was signed to Storm then as an artist. So I went on his set, and then I got introduced to Clarence, and he was like, yeah, I know you, man. I like your music. We should talk, we should work. But then he went back to the work. But I found out there was something incredible about him. While a lot of people were in there, it felt like a party, because it was Jimmy. So while everybody there was hugging, and just shaking themselves and drinking and eating, Clarence was just moving from here to here, calibrating cameras, directing the guys that drew the graffiti on the background. He was just telling them, no, do it like this. So he was part of every part of the production. The lighting, I just saw him just adjusting and readjusting the lights. So I just fell in love with the work ethic and the fact that he was disconnected from whatever it is that was going on around then. And after then, we now got introduced again by another great friend of mine called Ayo Banjo. Ayo Banjo is a production guru, edit guru as well, and was Clarence's partner at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, so now told me, yo, Illy, since you're trying to get your music off ground, why don't you just sit down with Clarence and have a conversation? And so we sat down in LTV, had a conversation, and he told me about his artist, Kellen Suspect. And I told him, okay, let's go. Let's use my song, You Go Wound, as an experiment. So that's how Clarence and I met. He shot the video. Clarence is actually responsible for my visual weight as an artist, because everything from Ayepogo to Bank Alerts to Chukwagozigogi to Anamachi Kwano with Fino, to Emini Bola with Chidima and Suspect, like my entire videography that helped stamp me as a brand. That entire, because not to answer Oga Boss. So you come out, you're going to go right against the big labels that have all that incredible budget.
Yeah.
You understand? But every time they would see me, even down to the guys in the rap community, I'll meet up with MI or Reminisce or Vector, and they'll be like, bro, man, your visuals are mad. But then you have CP now. So if you don't have, so it just felt good knowing that we didn't have so much. We didn't even have funding. We were just doing it from the heart. So Clarence really stamped it for me and, helped me become the guys that I became. So while he was doing the visual Suspect, shout out to my brother Suspect, he recorded every single album that I have till today. I have 12 projects. He recorded each and every one of them, mixed and mastered each and every one of them. So this is my history with Clarence Peters. Yeah.
Amazing. You just touched on something very important that, I still say till today. Sometimes creativity is not about money. You can be the best at what you do, even if you don't have a budget. All you need is that creativity, creative direction.
Absolutely.
Yes. And collaboration as well, because for Illbliss and Clarence, it was like a collaboration and they were able to do something amazing out of it. So now, Illbliss, what exactly were you doing? Because at a time, it felt like when I met you, it felt like you, at that point, you had stepped away from being a rapper at some point, and you were really into the business of the music directing and managing, not just managing brands like Chidima, Fino.
Yeah.
So what was your contribution then towards the success of Capitol Hill and these other artists? Yes, Goreti Company. Yeah.
So I always wanted to be more than an artist.
Okay.
Always. Never. I just felt like being a recording and performing artist was quite limiting in a climate like Nigeria. Okay. And then the business hadn't become what it is today. Today is a totally different market. So I watched a lot of artists struggle. I watched a lot of artists, my work experience is also exposed me to a lot of things. At some point, I was working in a hospitality sector in a business called Planet One.
Oh,
used to be in Ikeja, Maryland.
Yes,
now it's a filling station. Yeah, because I think they sold the property and the owner passed on. Yeah, so there, and it was such a big deal on the mainland, and a lot of artists used to come there to do events. But I would see a lot of artists. I was the events. No, I wasn't the event. I was the project manager there. And every time I would come out, I would see artists outside negotiating for their cars. Apparently, they had done events. They were owing. And they kept their cars there for security. So I always used to look at it like, this thing is not sustainable. This thing that you keep doing, like you're wearing earrings, jewelry, and I always have like loads of chicks around you and everybody, you're popular off 1 or 2 records, but it's really nothing. There's no stability in this. So I noted that at the back of my head. I also seen a lot of artists just be unable to do it after a record label leaves the building or leaves the table. So I just told myself I was going to own. I was going to create and own and co-own. So when I met Clarence, I said, okay, the true partnerships are those partnerships that say, okay, you own a part of this, or you bring this to the
Yeah.
table, I bring this to the table.
Yeah.
So, and at that point, I had moved from that hospitality business and I had moved to another business called Ultima Studios. So that, which was where I learned production, which was where I was production manager for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and at some point Project Fame, which is where I met
That's
Chidinma. So when Chidinma won Project Fame, and I took her to Clarence, and I'm like, my management company has the brief to manage this young woman. She's coming straight from Foursquare Pentecostal Choir. She has never done this Afrobeat business before. Where do we start? Let us partner on it. So this is how Clarence, myself, and Chidinma, got together, and we started to piece the brand together little by little until she became the Miss KDK that she became. So, and after my first album in 2009, I took a break.
Yeah.
Between 2009 and 2012, which was when you met me. So when you met me, I was transitioning into building artists because I needed it as well for my own knowledge. Nobody taught me anything in this business. Everything I know about building brands and managing artists and sustaining artists for a period was all self-taught. So as Clarence was learning how to shoot and how to build his clientele cinematographically, I was learning how to build my music and also build artists as well. But we were doing all of these things from our pockets. We never had a sponsor. God was our banker. God gave us every single thing, from office space to the first cameras we bought, to the studio that, Suspect put together for us to record. So Capital became home, and we'll sit down there in Omole. At some point, I would ask Clarence, why don't we even go to the island and just club? We've made some money now. And Clarence would be like, no, we're not going anywhere. We're not going to run out of money. We're not going. So we were almost like we were scared to be in all of that partying and vibrant part of the business. We'd go to events once in a while. We'd just go out, but we'd stay back in Omole and be like, nah, the island is psyching us. That's a part. We're going to lose all our money. Let's make more. So we just focused on the work, and the work. You knew our office in Omole.
Yeah.
So that's where
it was a container at first, right?
That's Clarence's mom's garage. That was a half of Mrs. Clarence Chukura's garage that she gave us to be able to do our business. That of course she understood, because she's a legendary actress. So and she had sent Clarence to film school. So when we came through, she said, "You people said it was editing you were doing here. Now I'm hearing too much music," because that was also where I was recording.
Okay.
You understand? And a lot of artists were recording as well. So we built from that, 10/12 Babatunde Ladiga. That's where we built, every single thing from, so that's the partnership with Clarence. Opened up doors, opened me up to a lot of things, I saw a lot of artists come and go, coming to get their videos done. You understand? I was making my albums with Suspect, and Clarence was providing the visuals for it as well. So I now fortified my knowledge of production from there. So
you were telling me about the story of how you moved from the container, what inspired it. It's a very funny story, so I think you should say
we got a brief. We got denied. We were looking for some business from Kraft Foods. Then Cadbury Nigeria had just got acquired by Kraft Foods America. So they were doing due diligence for the production companies they were going to have to work with, so we're near just about to get like a really big brief. That was a couple millions, that was, in fact, that year was grimy. My rent, Clarence's rent, our office rent, everything was hinged on that money. You understand? And so they sent in a team of people to come and look at our business. And our business was just like a container with like 13, 14 boys. You probably think it was G boys pressing when you walk in there. And it was just one section was Suspect, producing music, mixing and mastering. Another section was Banjo, Clarence, R-Cube. Everybody would just sit down. So when you come in, you'd be like, and then the place was always hot. Our doors were always open. You understand? But you see, those days just made us. Those days created our character, gave us a lot of character and a lot of resilience. So So when the woman came in from procurement in Cadbury, she looked like, I'm looking for Tobe Ejiofor, Capital Dreams. I'm like, oh, welcome to our office, man. She looked at the couch. There were like 6 boys with laptops. She's like, this is not an office. Where is like your reception? I'm like, okay, it's a young company that started speaking English. She's like, please come on. Like, I'm grossly disappointed. So from that woman, I learned that word grossly. If you see where I use the word grossly on people, like, you will laugh your head off. You will know that at some point somebody was also grossly disappointed in how we were set up. So she said to me, this is not a business. This is a bunch of friends hustling. I said, but I sent you the show reel. She said, I know about the show reel, but this is a corporation to corporation. Kraft Foods / Cadbury is a global corporation. You are a business in a container. I'm afraid I have to cancel this brief.
Wow.
I'm like, no, man. I followed her to her car. And I'm like, and then Clarence darts out of the container, shirtless, like a superhero, dreadlocks everywhere, man. And he's just moving. He's on the phone. I'm like, okay, that's how this brief has gone. Jesus. We were depressed because, those are our startup years. We really came up. We came up and we knew how creative we all were. We weren't just godfathered. You understand? We had this phrase then, we don't have godfathers, only just God the Father. That's all we had. So we knew what the journey was, and we knew that briefs like this was going to give us soft landing. If you see the long list of things we wanted to buy from that money coming from that client, eventually it never quite happened. We did a smaller project for them, a much, much smaller project, but it taught us about branding. It taught us about why agencies, because I always used to wonder, why do ad agencies always have this beautiful lawn?
Oh yeah.
Why is your set like this? Like with all the lights? Because I know that you are from the ad world. So why is this branding? Why does it, every time I see your show, no 2 podcasts like this?
Thank you.
No 2. Like I've seen a lot of podcasts. Like so it's not just about the shiny black Shaw mics or so you look at this, even without your name on it, I would know it's your show.
True, yeah.
So, and then we were just lost. We didn't know what to do. So and then we went back in again and started working and just got more briefs, and then moved into a bigger office next door. To us, we couldn't even furnish it. It was just there for months until, Clarence just woke up and was like, we don't know. This place can't be like this. We just need to move. Studio downstairs, all white studio with the infinity curves. Let's start shooting there. That's where they shot Molowo, no, and loads and loads of other videos. I did
cover a lot of video shoots there.
I know. I'm sure if I checked through all the BTSs from Gabi, you'll be all over them. So, and that's where it started. We just painted the company. And just started to work again. I started to make my Oga Boss album, and Fino had produced on my Oga Boss album. So that's how I met Fino through Raw, Raw. Shout out to Raw. Raw is an Eastern hip hop legend. I grew up with him in the Coal City. So Raw came to me and introduced me to Fino and said, this kid from Ababa in Enugu, and just said, we need to put him on because he's been making music for me. He's dope. His beats are amazing. Ili, I think you should work with him.
So Fino was actually a producer.
Fino was a producer. Fino was producing for Timaya, Bracket. The first person that took a real gamble on Fino in terms of giving him a chance to be on records was, I guess, Raw. So he produced songs for Raw. He was on Raw's album as well, And then Raw now called me and said, Ili, you need to take it a notch higher. You always know how to inspire this younger artist. So I met Fino and, and we started to work. I made this incredible record called Anama Chikwano. In Igbo, it means like when I'm walking past you, I'm not even seeing you. Anama Chikwano, like, can you see my face? You can't see my face. So Fino came up with that hook, and that was my 2012 Oga Boss album. I needed a record like that, a record that was going to be jarring for me to break it back in again. And then we went ahead and I presented it to Clarence, and I'm like, CP, this is my brother from the Coal City, and he's like, this guy can't blow now, Ili. He's too skinny, he's
very quiet.
He's too quiet. He's just
so quiet.
Fino is just on the wall, like a fly on the wall. Like he doesn't even want to get involved. I'll come to him at that because after a while I started coming to our studio to work. Yeah. So And I'll be like, have you eaten? Why are you so quiet? It's like, bro, it's not food that's doing him now, man. That he needs to get somewhere with this career. He needs to, because he left everything. Let me tell you something profound. You know, Fino left his car in the southeast. Like he had a car driving around in because he was a producer coming up, making small change here and there. He left the car in East and said, nah, when I get to Lag, I'll buy another one. That's the amount of belief that we have when we enter those buses. Ife Sinachi, Ekene Dilichukwu, Young Shall Grow. We get into those buses and we drive into the night. Whatever you see, you accept. Robbers around Ore is part of the journey. Tires busting around Benin, it is part of the journey until you get to Bega. And then you get down from the bus and you know you're in Las Gidi. So, but you know, Fino came through. I was this big homie, you know, so I looked out for him as best as I could. And a lot of other people liked him because he was such a cool dude, you know. And then I told Fino for an Amachi Kwanu video, we needed to rebrand.
Okay.
So go and watch the Anamachi Kwanu video. That's the first time you see Fino with the tattoos on his body, with the mohawk. So
okay.
Clarence and I sat down and created a totally different template for Fino. Branding.
Yes.
Again.
Yes, branding.
So when he came out and people saw him in the video for Anamachi Kwanu with fire in the background, and he didn't want that look. Because he kept telling me, man, this look is too hectic. His mom works in the church. This is not gonna happen. You know, he can't carry it. You know. So, but when I had shot that video was so groundbreaking for me, for him. From that video, the word just spread. We're like, Illy, who's that guy? Who's that guy? That guy he looks like a gang member. Like, look at tattoos all over. And because his lights, the tattoos were popping. You know. So, and then a couple weeks later, he hooked up with Olamide and they recorded Ghost Mode. You understand? And then Clarence went in and shot the video again. So there was a continuation visually for Fino as well. He didn't have the troubles that, you know, typical artists, Nigerian artists, especially hip hop artists. So shout out to CP and the entire Capital team.
Yeah, that's one thing I know. You just mentioned it that CP does. His videos are not just for entertainment. It brands the artist.
No, it brands.
And then the artist kind of like
they take it from there.
They take it from there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what TG did with Ashake, in my view, as well.
Absolutely.
The video branding.
No, absolutely. Yes. Shout out to the video directors.
Yeah.
You know, you see, shout out to the video directors, you know, from AK1, the days of AK1, you know, the days of the legendary DJT. Dial back a little bit to the years of Woody Awa. I remember when I first saw Gino's No Be God that they shot in Dolphin. That was the moment. In fact, I saw that video, I'm like, okay, so, and I saw it on a show called Music Africa. You understand? So I looked at it and I'm like, so videos can look like this now. It's over. You understand? I know how I felt when I saw that Green Smoleno be was shot by some guy called Genie, if I'm right.
Genie, yes.
Like Genie. I remember when I saw videos like that. Then we moved on to other greats like Adasa Cookie, that Square Ball, Frizzle and Bezu. Jude was shooting and directing, but after a while, Clarence, he got Clarence in because he couldn't afford to. He knew Clarence understood how P Square needed to look, but Jude was always involved. In fact, all three of them were always involved in their videos from the beginning to the shoots to the edits as well. You understand? I remember Clarence running it sometimes like, Jude is coming, I don't want to see him. But we're going to sit down here for hours. You know? So shout out to Jude NG. He's incredible dude. Yeah. So that's what his videos did for us. So it helped brand me as Oga Boss. Clarence wanted to do a lot of Rick Ross type things with me. He's like, why are you so simple? Let's just be shirtless. And then you know what? Then I was bigger.
Yeah.
I was chubbier then. I was all cheeks and belly. Then I told CP, man, I don't like how I look in pictures. CP was like, but you're the boss. You need to look. I'm like, no, this is not healthy, man. Maybe I'm not eating properly. Maybe you understand. So, and then while that was happening, Fino was getting branded and being put in those videos. You know, I remember Ghost Mode with Olamide was an incredible moment. Then from there, Clarence, when I had to also shoot Paso, you know, when I had to shoot Father, you know, by then Fino's career had just blown up and taken new heights. And in the same vein, Chidema had joined the team then.
Do you know how KDK came around about? You gave her that idea, right?
Oh yes, you didn't make my heart go
KDK.
KDK. No, see what happened when Kobam's studio
Okay.
in Ugudu.
Mm-hmm.
So Kobams was making a record for her called Keduke. So
Okay.
Kobams was saying Keduke. I'm like, that you is a problem, Kobe. Let's just say KDK. KDK is easy to pronounce. So we
Okay.
went back and forth on it, and eventually Kobe was like, you know what, Eli, since you're not letting up, I'm not going to win this argument. Let's just keep it at KDK. So we recorded that, and they love that. It's like a little doll, like a petite doll, beautiful African girl,
Yeah.
and so they just saw her and fell in love with her in Francophone Africa. You understand? And then we started to go for shows in Equatorial Guinea, in Senegal,
A lot of people do not know the contributions you made behind the scenes for some of these artists to soar. And
they,
like I said, at that
they,
time, you took a step back and then
yeah.
you decided to focus on them, right?
Yeah, it was a building time, and I was sticking to my dream of ensuring that more Eastern artists
Mm.
would breed,
Mm.
because I know how disadvantaged we are coming from the East. It's like when Jewish people moved to New York after the Holocaust, and they're doing everything. They are washermen, they own laundry areas, they're baking, they're tailors, they're shoemakers. You understand? Because that's not where they come from originally. So I always felt like I never had opportunities. I was just privileged, Linda, because I was a banker.
Yeah.
So I always had my salary, and I didn't want to play. I didn't have anywhere to even go to. I didn't have any labels. I didn't have anybody sponsoring my music. So I knew I needed my work salary. So no matter how stressed I was, I stayed in the bank, and I kept moving from bank to bank, fortunately, so that I just kept rising and rising and making more money, so I could fund a bit of my studio sessions and so on and so forth. So a lot of people know that. They just know sometimes peripherally that Ill Bliss stood with Fino at the formative years, and also helped develop Chidinma's brand, but maybe not in clear detail. Yeah. So which is why platforms like this remain very crucial.
Yeah.
So that you can come out and speak genuinely, not to come and like, I reject a lot of podcasts, by the way, because a lot of podcasts are just fluff. It's just people coming there to demand for flowers. And I'm like, I can't give you flowers. I have a whole frigging garden. Like, so I give it to myself every morning. But yeah, I was there. I was there for formative years of their careers. And Clarence was there as well, because it's great to have a great partner where when an idea is on the table, it becomes selfless. It becomes, how are we going to work this brand to make it successful? So that was always the primary thing. At some point, my career started to suffer, because I would make records and I'll just be thinking, oh, maybe we should put Chidinma on a mini baller. You understand? Maybe we should put that on this hook, on that hook. Suspect. Shout out to Suspect as well. He did a lot of recording, sleepless nights, wrote loads and loads of records, for Chidinma, guided her vocals, and just helped us create. So while I was bothering about the business and the brand, Clarence was bothering about the visuals, and Suspect was bothering about the sonics, the music itself. So, but then my career started to kind of wane, and people weren't really sure, is he a producer? Nigerians get confused very easily. Is he a rapper? I wasn't as consistent as I was anymore, because I was worrying about the other artists and the whole team. But all of that I had to address, because I came back and started to drop albums and music back to back, and I'm still there.
Well, it's good that you've clarified it now. For the longest time, I thought there was a time we met at an event, and then I told you, then I was still at Galaxy, I had a song that I recorded. And I said I recorded it with Partoranking then. I gave you the song to listen. And the song had one tune like, te, 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 te. And you were like, this song is nice, oh. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I never got to release the song, but the next thing I heard was KDK. I was like, wait a minute. Is this?
It sounded like your song.
Exactly.
No way. And you never told me all these years.
Well, I didn't continue as a musician. So someone else.
Do you think you would have been successful as an artist?
Because when I was in school, I actually had a song that was already good, that was already everywhere. If you ask Okechukwu Oko, he'll tell you.
You're kidding.
Oh, I'm just
Oracle.
kidding. Oracle. So I was under his record label, so I had songs that was already doing well. But after university, I just felt like
Where did you
maybe
go to
somewhere.
uni? Sorry, I'm turning the
Yeah, I
conversation to
knew this
you.
was going to
Where did you go
happen.
to uni?
Enugu. But
Esud
yes. ACID and IMT.
and IMT.
Topic for another day before you turn it into
Yeah,
my
before yeah, it
interview.
won't be your interview. But shout out to Okeoku.
Oh yes, okay.
Okeoku is a living legend, is a genius.
A lot of people do
Yeah,
not
I did
know. They
just
don't
one
know.
to SS2 with Okeoku, like sitting
Mm.
next to him. Yeah, incredible. Draws. He's a lefty. So he
Mm.
draws. Now he shoots. He's done it all. Okay,
Oh, he's
has,
done it.
okay has done it all.
Then I remember that his record label was one of the
Pure
biggest.
Sounds.
Pure Sounds. He produced a lot of celebrities from there. Then
I grew up in New Haven. Okay was like on the
it
New
was
Haven.
even in
Oh
the studio that
wow.
I met Jay Martins, that I met
Oh wow.
Wiz Boy. You know.
You're a proper 042 chick. Shout out.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible.
But we didn't share that. We didn't because we met in Lagos, so we just assumed.
Yeah, so that part
you know,
of
we never talked
oh
about.
wow. Oh, you're from my city. Oh,
Yes.
oh
No.
wow. This is crazy.
Cool. So when I heard the Chidinma song, I was like, "Are you sure it was?"
That's not your record.
You know.
Nah.
But it's all good.
We were looking for a sound. So Cobams was just coming up with all kinds of stuff in the studio, and all I contributed to was just call it KDK because me, I'm always looking at it from a branding perspective, how the consumer would accept it. What's the name of the song? That's the first question I always ask when we make records.
Well, that's why we need to have people like you in the industry, people like you in the music industry. Because nowadays it's just, I think we lost it when it comes to music. You know, it's just one person. Sometimes you don't even meet the producers; they just send the beats, and then
music is made in hotel rooms now. Producer can be anywhere. You could be anywhere. There are no studios anymore. What you have are mobile studios, so you don't have the traditional studios with the everything with the soundproofing and the big booth. Now you have a sound card and a mic. And loads of alcohol, loads of groupies just sitting around, just giving you tips. So sometimes when you're like, oh, I like that part, it go good for TikTok. So they cut everything down. They cut it all down to music is now like promotional material, a minute, 10 seconds, a minute. Oh, the intro is too long. Attention span. Nobody's going to listen to it. So the way they make music these days is just crazy. But you got to keep changing with the times.
Yeah.
You have to listen and understand what the youngins want and all now decide, do I want to make it like them or do I want to just keep up with the way I'm making it? Yeah.
So what would you say is the difference between, doing music then and the business and now?
Oh, this is a totally different time. Totally different. So the processes are different. Even how you put the records together, everything is quick now. So it's microwave. It's a microwave era. You buy the food, you toss it in the microwave. 3 minutes, it's hot already. You cut it up, eat, trash it. So sometimes it just feels super mechanical now. It just feels like a formula, and we're no longer in an era where you enjoy the art of making music. The art of the producer standing you up. The art of the producer seizing your data, holding it and saying you still owe me 3K. The process of, the lights have gone off. And you're like, oh, don't worry. I thought about it. I got some fuel. So I'm going to the studio as a banker. I'll drop on Allen. My studio was off Allen then. I'll stop at a filling station, buy 25 liters, carry it on another bike, and hope to God that biker will not run away with the fuel. So every time I'm passing Allen, and I'm just laughing like, "Jeez, man! Like you've been through it all." So it's just the process of that grueling, tough process of making music, and then you come out on Instagram and print your promo CDs. You understand yourself, and then the guy printing the CDs will mess up your artwork, and then you guys will start to argue. Talks. This is not what I told you. This is not my name. Why did you? My first album, that Igbo Boy is the name of my first album. So the guy making my CDs, Johnson. I wonder where that guy is now. Johnson just sees my art, that Igbo Boy, and removes the G in Igbo. Igbo, and it's that Igbo. So, because Johnson lives in Lagos, so it's like that Igbo boy. So he's editing my art for me. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? You know that CD came till today. People still tell me, we are Igbo, not Igbo. So it becomes a conversation like Oga Boss of all people that is always very culture specific.
Yeah.
It was just like 2-3 weeks ago, I told them, this thing was an error. I mean, shout out to Johnson. He just changed my album cover. And he was like, boss, I was trying to make it short. I said, who sent you? Leave it the way it is. So, but bottom line is, I come from that era. I come from an era where you go to the radio station and I'm talking to the presenter. Presenter is like, where are your songs? I'm like, I don't have singles yet, but I can rap. And he's like, just rap for me. They were auditioning me. Then, and I'll go there and I'll spit bars. And they'll be like, man, this guy is dope. Come on my show next week. That's how I started getting on radio. And then I just get on radio, rap from Echo FM to Ray Power. Do you know, dear youngin, dear Gen Z, do you know where Ray Power is located? If you knew the distance to Alagbado, you will be thankful for all of this digital radio, all of this podcast, all of this Instagram, Facebook. But it's a beautiful thing because I never say it from a point of anger or from a point of entitlement. I say from a point of eras just changing and you being so appreciative of where you're coming from and the fact that you can still fit in today.
Very important.
No, it's very key because I am always telling the OGs, like, you guys are not moving like OGs. What is your anger exactly? The kid did not create the fast station now. Neither did he create the analog type environment that we all grew up in. So you just study what's happening today and try the ones that you can try and stay fresh. Keep refreshing yourself.
Yeah.
So my era was tough. You go to the DJ in the club and you're buying him shots and he's drinking and he said, which one be that your song again? I said, it's track 11. And he said, okay, the jam the bang. Okay, come and Legushi now, make we run them. Dear youngin, did you experience a Legushi? That was a moment in Afrobeat.
That was a different
era. They will tell you there are 27 lounges here. You be going, you meet Shantizo, you say, Baba, how far now? We they push you, we they go the next. So you're doing even numbers, they're doing odd numbers. Before you know it, the records blow because those DJs also end up on radio. So they have, that was the ecosystem then. It was tough. But it was fun. And when you started to book the shows, then you start to appreciate, the moments and everything. So that's the era I come from. Remember, today I'm 100% Gen Z specific. The way I learned, like the way I want to know everything they know, because I've also learned a lot of things, even how I make music, how the music sounds, how it feels.
Even the business now.
Even the business of it. Even if, understand. Just to tell you, why are you carrying all these cameras, boss? I could just get someone to do reels for you now. And they just get reels with a tripod, pam, pow, pow. They're all over, it's all over the internet. You understand? Oh, boss, cut down the music. The intro is too long. And I'll be like, you think so? Would you play it? He'll be like, you want the truth? Nah. Because they're so honest. Yeah, you understand? They're blunt and honest and so on and so forth. So it's a good time. It's a beautiful time.
But it's good to see that you're receptive to it because that's the only way. That's why you are still relevant till today.
Oh, yes. The reception had to happen because first of all, it was amusement at how they work and how their work ethic is. Because everybody would be like, oh, youngins, they're disrespectful, they're lazy, they never suffered. But what people fail to understand is the first time the Gen Z demographic came in contact with corporate work was 2020. It was COVID. So you know what they think work is? You sit at home remotely and work. As long as you're productive, as long as you're efficient. So they ran through that whole COVID era, creating content, working, just wearing Crocs or pajamas, working and everything being digital. So when COVID came and went, thankfully, now migrating into a work life where you're telling them you need to be here 6 days a week. And they're like, why? And you know what? They will ask you, oh, it affects my mental health. like I can't take it. It's a lot of work, or this is toxic. I resign. I have friends in in recruitment and I have a friend in KPMG and another one in consulting. So they always send me letters. They call it classic resignation letters. So you just see a letter say, "Dear Linda, I'm out." I say, "This is the latest of our Gen Z collection," or Amal or Ego B. I've seen Ego B. You understand? And that's how they just step away. They are very they're very focused on what they want to do. They think it's more of results. They're trying to get results.
Yeah.
So it's
The
result
easiest way
based.
to get
The easiest way
results.
to get the results. So why are we exactly toiling a lot when we can actually get the results? Chase the result that counts. I can be doing this work from home now, so I don't have to come in all the time. You understand? And I asked one of them, "Why did you quit?" They said, "Because he wants to deal in crypto." I'm like, "So that's like your whole job?" They say some crypto, then on Fridays he needs to, what was that other thing again? He needs to hang out and go and drink. Like he's an outsider. I'm like, okay, that's like a job. Like you're an outsider. So so he needs to, party that, that he can't take it mentally. So that him is about the softness of the life. You understand? So, and but they are effective in their own ways. They're not just doing it like the millennials. You
Yeah,
understand?
I've seen a
So,
lot of Gen Zs that are
oh, of
very
course I know.
effective.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course I know.
Yeah.
So they are effective, and they just need to dial back a little bit and just understand how specific processes and systems were created. Just a little bit of history will make you even a lot more solid, because things just didn't drop from somewhere. You need to understand where it's all coming from, and so that's it. That's the era we're living in now.
I swear. So I know you have a lot of questions, right? You
Oh
have a
yeah,
lot of questions for him.
definitely.
For me, we can talk King of Boys. We can that which is
Yes,
acting.
that's what
We can talk.
I wanted to ask you about all the different facets
Okay.
of your life or your
Yes,
career,
of my
because
career.
you seem to be like a creative, like a full-blown creative. You're an actor, you're a musician, you are also a business manager. You've done it all. So let's talk about each aspect and what you learned from it, and some of the challenges that you faced in the industry.
Okay. Music gave me a lot of music gave me a lot of power. So when I step into the room, it's not, there's this guy in Nollywood that is, he's doing decently. What? Nah, they say Oga Boss is on our set. So when Kemia Detiba reached out to me in 2018, so for King of Boys 1, she's like, "Illy, it's a role I have for you, and I'm like, "No, I didn't want to act, man," because I know about this transition from music to acting. I've seen people that tried it and failed, and I know how vindictive and how bitter Nigerians can be when you don't succeed with that transition. They will nail you to the cross. You understand? So
Yeah.
I was a bit apprehensive. Also, my mind was always, man, Ilya, at the right time, you just do your own films. You do your own films, and just, I always wanted to create, never to really be the actor. Until now, I still want to create more than act. You understand? So Kemi started calling me. I was like, Illy, this script is dope. She sent it to me. I didn't read it, because I didn't want to get involved with it at all. I just kept dribbling her. Months passing. Kemi's telling me, sign off on this contract. And I'm like, nah. Eventually, I just stopped. I just logged out. And I thought the film had gone. They had gone ahead to shoot the film. So when I got back to her months and months later, and you know what happened? I opened my emails. So I was going through some old mails, and I saw KOB PDF. So I said, it's from Kemi Adeti. Ooh, that's the script. And I opened it and read it. Ha! I said, this is a career error. This is a dope script now. Then I now did the Call of Shame. Hey, Kemi, how are you? And I'm sure she was abusing me at the other end. She was like, I'm like, how's the film? How did it go? It's like, it didn't happen. Or it hasn't happened. But we have to finally just find somebody, because I can't seem to find anybody. I've been auditioning people. I'm like, Kemi, send me the contract. So she sent me the contract. I got on set and ran into my homie Reminisce, who played Makanaki. So Rem and I are like we're like the evil twins. Like we love hip hop music, and we have found amazing success in rap music. And so every time I see him, it's just gists. Like we just sit down, forget what we came for, and he's a girl dad as well. You understand? So he has daughters. So we're always going back and forth on, I want my daughters to go to this school. That's where all the rich people's, all the rich people like, they're going to have the right friends. They're going to be exposed for the future. You understand? I want to do this. I'm present. I'm doing their homework with them. So that's the kind of friend Reminisce is. So, and then of course we met Auntie Shola in her awesomeness. And I walked into a room with Adeswa, Adeswa Wellington, and Auntie Shola was rehearsing. She was rehearsing her lines. And she was backing us, and she was rehearsing and speaking to like 5 people in the room. That thing messed with my head, Linda, because of the amount of venom she was speaking with. So it was like theater. So she would just shout and be like, I gave you Lagos. What do I get in return? Disregard. Then she would now break into fluid Yoruba. I just looked at Reminisce and said, bruh, this one is not rap. I'm not sure. I think we should just pull out at this point while we still have our respect. No, that thing was scary. And we're doing it at that NEPA. There's this NEPA building that's very legendary for music videos.
Yes.
And it's the music videos that blew up that
Yes,
place.
of course.
Now all the actors and all the filmmakers now started coming in to shoot there. So that place, with how run down it is and everything, dilapidated and all. So, and Chilla now turned and just turned and smiled. I'm like, Jesus. After all this energy, she's like, come and hug me. And she hugged us and said, we're going to make a classic, a successful movie, and I need you guys to put your very best in. This is, this is personal for me. So, every time I see her, she says, Odogu, I'm so proud of you. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, she's such an incredible person. Like, and she's Shola Shobowale, shout out to you. You are a true legend, living legend.
Yeah,
she's so incredible and so dynamic. You understand? You see, Odogu is wearing a red belt. That's the Igbo sign. You look like you're straight from Aba. You understand? I said to Shola, have you been to Aba before? You'd be like, yeah, just once. But we were driving through. So, so it was such a beautiful experience making the first part. And then some years later, we went back and did the 7-part episodic one that was now the first original, first limited edition original on Netflix. And that one was so incredible. Like the fan base I got from King of Boys is not the Oga Boss fan base. Till today, a lot of people don't even know he's the same guy.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, wait, I know you from King of Boys. Then another person will be like, that's Ill Bliss now. I have all his albums. Oh, he raps too? And it keeps amazing me. I'm like, okay, you guys should wait. I'm coming. I'll do a 3rd and 4th and 5th. And you guys will keep guessing. So that's how I got into acting. And from there, I came to realize that all those years with Clarence, all those years sitting down, watching Clarence edit, watching Clarence stay up 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. Clarence would call me 3 a.m. and say, we're joking, Illy. We're joking, man. I need to start shooting on the red. I say, CP, it's 3 a.m. Can we talk when I come to the office? He's looking at his footage and he hates the grade. He doesn't like the grade. So he always kept pushing himself. So that energy was also the same energy that seeped into Fino, seeped into myself. So we kept, sharpening each other, in one way or the other. So it just became incredible, just an incredible team. So all those years sitting down, watching him edit, watching him create magic out of artists that didn't even know where their brands were at that point in time, That guy deserves like a proper national award, if there's anything like 100. That, for what he did with music videos. Clarence is like a friggin' legend because he created things out of nothing, like, And so watching him, when it was now time to start, to get on the King of Boys set and start to create my own content for the Goretti company, it was now easier because I had seen everything. I'd seen Clarence move from shooting on DSLR cameras to shooting on 7Ds to shooting on 5Ds to shooting on, now migrating to the Red, from the Red to the Alexia, from the Alexia to everything down to Sony's. Clarence will break down the camera and read about it on YouTube. and start shooting with it tomorrow. I'm like, who does this, man? This is why people go to New York Film Academy. This is why he's like, academic care. so, so yeah, that's incredible times.
Great.
Yeah.
Working with Clarence must have been, was it easy? Because Clarence can be stubborn sometimes.
Yeah.
And like with all creative people, like it's hard to get into their brain. It's hard to move them, change their mind from some
Yeah.
certain things. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And so how was
Working
it
with
like?
CP,
Yeah.
working with CP was incredible. It was, you know, he'll come into his office and be like, please tell me which grade you prefer. Because for some reason, you understand what this Nigerian music industry needs. Then I'll be like, this is the one you would choose because it's filmy. It's more cinematic. This is the one the client would choose because it's glossy. And everybody wants to be glossy, you know. So he ran some of his really, really big and defining ideas. I would even hear them before he would shoot. I'll see him in production meetings warning the production manager, Rose, at that point, warning Shegu, the other production manager, warning everybody, the crew guys, the camera guys, the AD, the set guys, everything. It was like a whole gang. And they'll meet up in his office and he'll be showing them references. This is what we're doing. A car will explode on this set. I don't want your nonsense like the last shoot where you blah, 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 blah. So CPU is full of energy. And because he could understand every part of production, you know, he was incredible. Stubborn, but because he had a soft spot for me and a lot of respect. CPU respects me so much and it's vice versa. So we were able to work. Even when we didn't agree, it would be like chess. So I'll move one piece, he'll move two, I'll move two. Then he'll be like, okay, boss, you know what? I'll leave this to you. I think you know what to do with it. So working with him was incredible. Very emotional guy, big on loyalty. He is big on loyalty and, you know, he knows where I place him in my heart. So
Great.
yeah.
So your questions before we move forward.
My questions are plenty.
Hey, Jesus Lord.
Voila.
Lord, dude.
It's going to be a 3 hours podcast.
Gen Z does not have they don't have attention span. No, no, but go ahead. Ask. Just ask
I'll
me.
make it short. I'll make it short. Now, the first thing I just wanted to say really is you didn't start from where I know you from, thoroughbred. You know,
Okay, it's because of the
you
questions,
know,
though. Yeah.
the thoroughbred, and it's crazy how I'm listening to you right now,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing firsthand. I'm now seeing the kind of work you put in. It is
Thank you.
you know, I've not even thought about it the way it is now that we're saying it, and I'm going back and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work, not just putting yourself in front of the camera, and also a lot of work behind it too as well. Something that I don't think a lot of people would have been able to manage.
Yeah.
Being a superstar yourself and also being a manager, a business person, and all
Yeah.
that. As a matter of fact, you're inspiring me now.
Thank
Because
you.
now I think it is possible because before I didn't think it's possible. You know, I'm looking at you now like, oh my God, you've done something incredibly, like people cannot imagine that it is even possible to do. And just going through all the things you've done, I'm like, wow,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes, you did this, yes, you did that. Wow.
We've not
It
even
is
talked on
too
all of them,
much.
Seth. We've
It
not
is
touched
it
on
is
all of them.
way
I
too
know.
much.
I know.
It is way too much. My first question would be, now that pretty much everybody seemed to feel like it is um flashy and rosy and everything to everybody now is simple, you know, but then it is very, very important that we highlight the roles of people behind the scenes, you know,
Okay.
that make superstars. Why is it that we don't celebrate people behind the scenes this much? You rightfully said this is why this platform is here.
Yeah.
Why do you think is a thing? Because even if you are not a superstar, probably a lot of people might not have known you as much, you know, as much as, you know. Why is it that is a thing? Because I would say this, like you rightfully say, a brand, most of the brand that we know right now in terms of artists or whatever are brands that are formed through ideas from people like you. Like, can you just do this? Can you just do that? Can you just do that? That would change all of that story, and the brand will become number one brand. Even the brand themselves seems to forget, and then they move on to it. I have a testimony. There's a time I was watching Terry G, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
on one of the interviews, and he mentioned how they asked him how he got the bell.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he mentioned how he got the bell, and it's a different story from mine. But shout out to Terry G. He might have forgotten. I might, but this is what I'm talking about. Like how even directors help big brands. I was the one that actually gave the bell to Terry G. In the Freeman, in the no,
Freeman.
it was a video called if you go watch Freeman, the bell was not there.
Wow.
We did a video called Bad Belle Chowe Chowe, and there's a part that he said "Ashabadabadabadaba." So when I was thinking about the concept, I'm like, this is like a pastor,
like a chant,
Cele.
like a celestial chant.
celestial, and because he wanted us Sele, and we now give him the
Oh
bell.
wow.
Before then, there was no bell.
Wow.
So, but he might have forgotten, honestly. But I'm telling you, this is how brands are being made.
Yeah.
But why is it like we don't celebrate people behind the scenes? Why do you think that is?
This is a very important question. And very insightful as well. These days when I see people behind the scenes, when I see directors and I see editors and anything that has to do with the talent that is not the talent, I leave them with one thing. I said, you must document your journey. Like if she brought out all the tapes from the music videos and just said, today, all my fans, the fans of this podcast, I'm just going to show you guys my story because I think I've been telling everybody's story for the whole duration of the show. Let me show you my galaxy pictures. Let me show you my BTS for various music videos, and so on and so forth. You will be shocked. People will not believe the amount of history that she's seen.
Yeah.
And now we have a lot of tech. We have a lot of mobile phones, a lot of incredible camera phones, miniaturized cameras, and so on and so forth. I feel like that moment you're on set shooting, if you had to hand over that bell to him now, you catch it. Moments. Because nobody waits for anybody. And everybody is on a the time they're like time elapse shots. Like everything is moving at breakneck speed and information is being processed by the second.
True.
So you don't blame people that come out and say, hi, I'm live here, I'm directing the shoot. You have to put a stamp on it. Artists are also plagued with a lot of things. There's so many things to distract them. So do you know the truth is that sometimes they may not even remember. It's not like really that time to try and take away your credit. But then there's another percentage of artists that remember but keep quiet. They keep quiet because perhaps they feel like credit should always come to me. I created myself. Like I know a lot of people that come out and they don't know the stories on how certain artists that I've worked with were created. You understand? And I always go ahead and I let them know. The reason why Chidinma had short hair is this. The reason why Fino had tattoos and the mohawk was this. The reason why I had a suit on my second album and it was called Oga Boss was this. So that way, and I would never hide the people that were part of that process. The world is built around the truth. Anything that is not the truth, my guy, it will crumble. You could lie and lie about it or you could cover it up for a while. But one day, that thing is just going to come out and the whole world will see it for what it really is. It's flowers, it's credit. If that guy lit up the sets, please give him his credit. Please mention his name and tell the world how awesome he is. There's a blessing that comes with that. But I don't know, there's a way people are. People become very dark and sinister around credit. You understand? And I know producers, for instance, that will make music, they will leave their names out of it. All of that can't happen now because now you have split sheets. You have who made what. You have who wrote what. Everybody has some publishing now, except you're totally ignorant. You understand? So the guy that is waka pass in your film, he's checking the end credits. Oh, they didn't put my name. Oga, what's going on now? I was in the movie. I'm going to sue. You understand? So I feel like it's a totally different era now, and people are more aware. People are much more educated now. I just feel like flowers, no one tree makes a forest. So it's a forest because it's loads and loads of shrubs and trees. So people need to understand that it's very imperative that they give people their due credit. It's very crucial. Now, to you, the BTS guy, the guy behind the scenes, shooting, directing, everything, it's also crucial that you speak about the amount of work you do. Do you know what you can do? You set your phone. Hello, my name is Linda. And I shot this incredible film. I was the cinematographer. Then you now bring in all your footage. Even the BTS guy needs a BTS. No, you invest in it.
True.
Because that way, people are not just saying, "Hey, that means anybody can just come up and say, I shot this." But they see you on set, they see you directing, they're like, he's really for real. You can't do that anymore. Not today. The cameras should be on you, shooting you, and you documenting. It's your CV. It's part of what you do for a living. You are a star in your own right. You're not just the guy holding the mic. You know, I hope I was able to answer a little bit of. Be bullish about it, bro. This thing we're not playing here. So I came here to make you a star. I came here to just sprinkle you with stardust. You know, since you won't call my name, I'll call my name, and I'll put you in the credit. I'll put you in the footage, so they'll know that I made all of this possible. Yeah.
You and Clarence have done a lot, and I don't think you guys even know how impactful you guys became. Even till this day, I'll say this. Listen, there are lots of top directors now that are using all the you know what I was going to say.
Oh, I know.
Not just the templates, the people that you guys
use. The tech crews.
The crews. So that is the amount of impact. So even till now, I am using one of you clients' editors when I'm doing adverts. Shout out to Mikey. Yeah. You know, I'm telling you, a lot of people flood the industry now that are doing any big picture you see in terms of music video and even ads. Those are Clarence guys. Those are Clarence boys. And I saw one time Clarence talk about how, you know, he was. We need to bring Clarence here. Please, we need to bring Clarence here. We need to bring Clarence here.
No, now that you're here, it will happen.
One phone call. Don't even need to worry yourself.
You know, because he was talking about how much, you know, he was talking about the impact, also talking about how much he suffered in some areas. You know, it was being vulnerable, and to be honest, I learned a lot from it. You know, but the truth is now, as big as this industry is, did you think it has really rewarded you guys in terms of, I don't know, in some level of capacity? And if it hasn't, you know, how you fulfilled with, you know, what you guys have done, you know, because I don't know what fulfillment means to you guys, you know. It's a lot.
Okay.
Do you know?
You know, for me, because I mean, I'll speak from an art. I have too many hats. That's the problem. Like I can wear the hat as an executive producer, as a creator, as somebody that invented one thing or created one brand here and there. You know, so I never get the full credit. People till today call me and they say, Oga Boss, never. This is the most underappreciated artist in Nigeria. You understand? Every time I just come out and I make new music, they're like, how? We don't deserve you. Like, these are hundreds and hundreds of comments. And I'm like, this thing has continued to be reoccurring. Every time this guy is underappreciated. I'll speak from my perspective. I never waited for flowers. I never. They will tell you. If I make music, it wasn't because I made music because I'm capable, because I'm blessed. I'm blessed, so thoroughly blessed. So I just, from a music standpoint, I just look at it like my fan base is growing. And somebody's going to discover me today on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Audiomack. The fans are growing. The fan base is growing every day. I never wait on the Nigerian music industry or the global music industry. I just keep going. You understand? And yes, it hurts sometimes when you look at the situation and you're like, my name should be on that list. But also, thankfully, my name has been on incredible lists. The same way it hasn't been on some lists. So I always just look at it like, are you upset at something? Make something epic. When you create stuff that is epic, then the conversation stops. Like the back and forth stops. And it becomes, just give it to Oga Boss. Just, you know, my wife always tells me something. Said, babe, at this point, I can't work for anybody. I'll just create something and the whole world will gravitate to me. So that's what I want to create. I want to have that power to be such an inventor, not just a follower. You understand? So if you're not if something is happening and you're not feeling it or the way that you're being given credit. Don't dwell on that. What you do is you track up. You track up and you make more epic moments creatively. You understand? If you hadn't morphed, I was just telling you something off the camera that look at your journey. Look at how you moved from television to advertising. Imagine if you were still on TV as a presenter.
Yeah.
You probably feel like the game left you behind. Oh, I'm not well paid. Oh, that's the reason why Rema didn't say good morning to me. Doesn't know he's senior. That's why Fireboy, he's so disrespectful. These new artists, no, they're coming at a totally different era where new people are running the business. New people that they have formed alliances with as well. The same way artists formed alliances with you at your time. So evolve, my G. Evolution. You evolve or you die. Period. You know, never let anybody gas you up or make you feel like, oh, we came from an era. Every morning you wake up is a new era.
Yes, so.
Yeah.
Yes,
For you. Yeah. So create your world, create your magic.
I want to talk about business.
Okay.
You know, because that's another part that you hold strongly. You know,
I try.
yeah, no,
It's not-
you
I
did your
try.
thing. You know, the business now in Afrobeats, and you know, we had someone very important here, Bizo.
Oshikoya.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
that's my G.
you know, he said in his own opinion that Afrobeats is on a decline. You know, but I think he's talking about the sales and you know, basically. Do you think what do you think about that?
Thank you.
You know, is it on a decline or to you, or it's still we're not there yet? We're still moving?
We're having an incredible moment. Bruh.
Hmm.
At some point, this same genre wasn't even called Afrobeats. It's just
Yeah.
music of African origin. It could only play at select stations, pirate stations across the world. Nobody on the prime time radio or television could touch our music. We didn't qualify. We were labeled, I don't know what we're labeled as, but we were so low down the food chain. You understand? Certain people paid the price for our music to go global. Certain people paid the price, even people that are not Nigerians or artists, like saying radio presenters, DJs, rave DJs, and as well, you know, a lot of people just took a bet or took a gamble on Nigerian music and opened up the doors for us. A lot of show promoters that their names never get mentioned, you know, also opened up the doors for artists to be able to go to Turkey, go to Spain, even if it was 30 people in each club. They give us an opportunity to start traveling and to start getting visas. You understand? And when you're going, you carry one person here, one person here, you carry your video director, and that will be your whole crew. You understand? And same show promoters created work permits for us to be able to come in and work in these countries and perform our songs. We could then dare to shoot videos on the streets of Cape Town, videos on the streets of Japan, streets of America, England, Spain, so on and so forth. We created all of this. Let us just enjoy the moment. Let us just enjoy the fact that you step into Tesco in central London, or you step into a Balenciaga shop in France and you're hearing Rema and it's on repeat. And the white, pure white with blue eyes assistant is singing word for word. Let us enjoy the fact that Bonner has gone and gotten us a Grammy. Let us just enjoy the fact that Clarence has been nominated and has won awards at platforms, MTV awards in South Africa, you know, so on and so forth, the BET awards, all of that global endorsement that we've gotten for this genre, for this thing of ours that at a point we didn't even understand how big it was going to become. Let us enjoy the O2 moments. Let us enjoy the Madison Square Garden moments. Do you know how massive the Madison Square Garden is? That's where they used to shoot WrestleMania. When I was a kid, it was so huge. Now they'll tell you Rema performing tonight, sold out. Waze performing, sold out. Sold out. Sold out. I'm not even talking O2. O2 is now like Eco Hotel.
Yeah.
You understand? And I'm not talking in terms of facilities.
I know,
I'm talking in terms of how we just go in and out and pack it out. You understand?
Our industry nights.
So the O2 is still big, but I mean, it's a moment. It's a big moment. The
Yeah.
artists have grown. We've done incredible collaborations. We have I don't want to talk. So I understand when Bezos says there's a decline because everything that goes up that way at times needs to sustain.
Yeah.
You understand? Sustenance plan for African music, music of African origin, should be the next things, that we should have even been thinking about it by now.
Yeah.
Should be doing like concerts in Kenya, in
Exactly.
Zimbabwe, where you say, oh, Jay-Z and Beyonce are the special guests, and they come to Egypt and they see pyramids and they see zebras running around, and it's like they're on set for Lion King. You know why? Because Africa is like we have everything.
Yeah.
We have wildlife, we have the Serengeti, we have every single thing. But sometimes it feels like we need that stamp from outside, from the globe, the global, the diaspora to believe in ourselves. When it's the Grammys, we're panicking. Why do we panic for the Grammys? Like this thing of ours, we built this thing now. Everybody's taking our guitars now.
Yep.
Everybody, every artist, every drill rap artist, R&B artist, everybody, pop artist, they're collaborating. Everybody, come on, man. Harry Styles is on Coldplay's album. Do you know what that is? Coldplay is probably one of the top 2, top 3 most successful bands in the world. Bonner has made records with them. You understand? Everybody wants a piece of this thing of ours.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should just plan on how we can change Africa with this narrative. How we can make Africa so fly, like Dubai. How we can be so great. Because that's the only thing we're exporting. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we haven't done governance is a totally different story for another day.
Yeah.
Because all we seem to export is our art, God given. So we should focus on how we can impact Africa, how we can attract more things to come here and happen and change the lives of African children and create a beautiful continent. So I try not to bother, I just dance. Because we have so many hits. Dance in gratitude. Gratitude.
Yeah. Cool, you're doing?
Very good, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to, I want to keep it short.
Okay, so it's been amazing talking to you, Illbliss.
Yes,
Moving
babe.
on now, I'd like to know some of the projects you're working on right now because it seems you are back to rapping, right?
I never went anywhere. I never went anywhere.
Yeah, well, you took a break. You
No,
took the
I took a
vaccine.
break. 2020, I took a break. I took a break after 2020. I put out an album during COVID. It was called Illy Chapo X. Yes, that was I think my 10th project. Yeah, so I took time after that project, and then I had a child, I had a baby. My second kid came, so wifey and I just focused. We're very intentional parents, so
That's good.
I will not go on tour and leave those girls.
Yeah.
Either they are coming with me or we're doing the homework together at home. So I'm present because I've seen people lose it because they were trying to chase the bag and they forgot the kids, and the kids are growing up with nannies and in total isolation. So I just took a pact not to do that, and
That's good.
and then I'm there. I'm also back recording. Like I'm making a new album. Yesterday I found a name for that album. Yeah, it's called God Made You King. That's what it's called. So God Made You King is going to drop. Might be later this year, might be next year. But the new single is called Bully Them. Bully Them features Magneto, and it just came out about a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so Bully Them was produced by my incredible producer from Jos, although he lives here now. His name is Skeeter. He made my last album. He made my 2024 album.
Okay.
So he brought me back. Skeeter brought me back into music, and I heard his records, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make an EP of 4, 5 songs. Then by the time we're making the 5th song, it's like, boss, this is not an EP. We're taking it. So we ended up making a whole friggin' album. So February 24, 2024. Yeah, so 24 to 24 was when it dropped last year. And I've done so incredibly well in this streaming era, in this digital era, and it's growing. But because something was different about it, I've always been privileged with collaborations. So I had a great opportunity to work with Fave. Fave is on a record called Peace of Mind. Odumodu Black is on Full Chests.
Okay.
Vector is on Successful. Vector and Molade or Lade are on a record called Successful. My brothers Umo Bilibo, incredible group from the southeast, are on another song called Chukwe Buka. And what else am I forgetting? It's an incredible album. And when it came out, I was shocked. I'm like, so when I saw when I saw the response, I'm like, you should never give this kind of gaps anymore in music, which was why when this year started, I just started piecing together the next, the next album, and it must stay consistent because the fans are never satisfied. They're spoiled for music. So every time they're asking Oga Boss, when are you dropping again? My Twitter is always on fire. So I'm like, I'm getting back in it. So Bully Them is the current single. The album is coming. I don't know when for sure, but I've pieced it together pretty much, and it's a dope. Like if it sounds really dope to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to give them again so that we can end the year in absolute glory.
Hallelujah.
Amen. I call it God Major King because my journey is absolutely divine. I've never had an opportunity. No, I don't even know. I know people speak for me behind closed doors and they speak about try and create opportunities for me, but I also created a lot of opportunities by grinding, by doing it by, like DIY, doing it yourself. So I understand I've been privileged to meet a lot of great people in the business that have whole hands down supported me, I don't pay for radio airplay, like, you understand. And I will not go and call your boss because I'm friends with him. I will know the DJ and the presenter that they recruited yesterday because I'm still hungry. I never go on that whole is Oga Boss, so it's automatic. No. So I'm still out here. I'm still grinding, still putting out music. I shoot documentaries on the side.
Yeah, you did a documentary for Showmax.
Yes, it's called Free Men. You should go and watch it. It's about the Igbo apprenticeship system. It's incredible. It's about how you take people, 4 people, and train them through the Igbo boys system. And when they graduate, you give them some funds and give them inventory if they do well. You understand? So it's all the whole story, the entire process was broken down into a 6-part limited edition series called Free Men on Showmax. It's now streaming on Showmax. So I did that last year. So I'm back in again. I'm shooting a lot of stuff. I'm doing films. I can't talk about them now because they're still in production. I'm doing films that I'm executive producer for. And yeah, that's it. Just having a great time, just creating content. I'm doing a lot of documentaries now. There's a new one called Hip Hop Per Se. Thank you. It's got MI. This is the first place I'm talking about it. So it's got storytelling from MI, storytelling from Ladipo, Magneto, Amazing Clef, the photographer that has impacted and helped shape hip hop so extensively. Eriga, so many of them, like my rap community, Odumo Du Black. There's so many of them, and I know their stories, and they all came from somewhere. So I felt like you should sit down so that you could share your moments. So I'm creating that as well. It's a 30-minute, 12-episode show. It's a lot going on. Another one called the Queens of Afrobeat, from Yemi to Nini, to a lot of them. So, and I know this industry. I know where all the bodies are buried, so to speak. So I know the people to go to, and they give me audience because they have incredible respect, for me. So the DJs as well. There's a show about DJs and where they're coming from and how they went from Legushi to being hidden under the staircase and not showing up to now becoming brands like Crowd Controller and DJ Spinall and the rest. So it's a journey. I'm documenting everything I know about Afrobeat down to the stylists. There are different shows. So I'm in my own world. I'm very unaware of what's going on outside. I'm just in my world, just doing it with my various partners. But they will start coming out soon.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
You said something at the beginning of the podcast. You said you don't allow anybody to box you. You don't believe that there's anything like age restriction.
Never.
If you have a dream, you can just go ahead and do it
and push for
whenever,
yeah,
wherever
you
want, and that's exactly what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So was that the principle that guided you to get to where you are today, because you've been in the industry for a long time? And what other advice can you give to creatives that can help them achieve longevity in their career?
There's specific artists that inspired me when I was coming into the game. I didn't have a Nigerian mentor. Because what I was doing was just, who was I going to go to for hip hop and rap and just say, show me what to do? So I'm a huge fan of Jay-Z. I'm a huge fan of Nas. I'm a huge fan of Rick Ross. Huge fan of DJ Khaled. I'm a huge fan of Kendrick. Drake. I've seen them create businesses. It hit me one day when I looked at Jay-Z's net worth, and it just read that only just 10-15% of his net worth came from music. Meaning he had diversified
Yeah.
incredibly into
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
liquor and beverages, clothing lines, rock nation, every single thing. They just built their businesses, and it just exploded into a million and one other things. Now they are directing the Super Bowl. You understand?
Yeah.
Incredible moments in music
Halftime
history,
show.
and creating
Yeah.
opportunities for hip hop artists and also pop artists as well to come and enjoy huge moments. So I was in my little space, my little room, little African kid growing up in Enugu, just dreaming. I've always dared to dream. And then I said, oh, then I like John Singleton. Then I like Spike Lee. And then I like a lot of black directors. Like I like a lot of them. I love Tyler Perry. So I'm looking at it like you must make film as well. So I go and I study their lives. I studied Tyler and how he made the Madea series and how he was down to his last $20-$30 and nobody was giving him money to create. And he became Madea. Everybody thought he became Madea with clear eye. They didn't know dude didn't have a budget. So when I look at it and I look at 50 Cent, that hasn't dropped an album in over 10 years and owns everything from Power to Power Book to BMF. Like he has a whole universe for G Unit films. So the things that move me, sadly or incidentally, are not the things that move maybe the average Nigerian artist. I think maybe in a wider, I don't want to be the guy that you control. I want to be able to hold some of the control so I can do what I like, while partnering as well. So those are the things that I draw a lot of inspiration from. I draw inspiration from the from the filmmakers because I know their history and how they came up, and also from the artists as well and how they have stayed and had longevity. So sometimes you depart from the music. So every time you see me depart from the music is a combination of my daughters and that rule book I'm reading about how sometimes you just go scarce and you come back because the music will never really contribute to even up to 20-30% of the kind of income that I'm chasing. So I'm just trying. I'm just telling my own stories the best way that I can tell them. Same way you're telling your stories over tea. I'm telling my own stories and hoping to God that that's my gold mine and that's what I'm creating from the industry. To the young artist, to the young creative that is probably going to watch this pod. We could sit down here and tell you so many incredible things, but I know that you get all of these quotes and all this motivational talk off IG. You understand? So you have so many pages that just push you to be the best at what you do. But I just need people to just dare to fly, just dare to dream, dare to break the ceiling, the glass ceilings that people come to put you under because they are a reflection of their fears and the ways they failed in their own things that they try to do. I just need you wherever you are, whether you're a creative, whether you're a writer, whether you're an actor, whether you're a singer, whether you're a guitarist, a painter, whether you're trying a podcast at home in your little room where nobody knows you with your 510 followers. One day they become 500 and then the next day they become 5,000 and then 50,000 and then 500,000 and then 5 million. So you need to just create it. It's a process. I need you to also believe in the process of growing. If you blow up tomorrow morning and become successful, you will not understand the journey. The journey is very essential. So every time people tell you no, you go back, you research, you get better, and you come back. And that's it. Resilience is the spirit of resilience and making it happen. And also be ready for greatness, because when it comes and you're not ready, it could break your arms. Because greatness is complicated sometimes, And above all, God Almighty, where everything flows from. Every single damn thing, flows from it. We're in an era where if you win something and you're giving glory to God, people look at you like, this is mainstream media. Is he crazy? But we all know where it came from. We all know that our hands are blessed today and we have incredible talent just because God mandated it. Yeah. I think with just these tips,
Amazing.
you'll be dope. You'll be dope. You'll be
Thank
dope.
you so much.
Thank you,
It's
Linda. Thank you
amazing
so
to
much.
have you here today.
Thank you.
We've learned so much. Do you guys have any other questions? We're done. Oh, great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ill
Thank you
Bliss.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you.
Keep being you. Keep being an inspiration to many.
Thank you.
And I know, like you said, we are going to still keep seeing you
Oh,
until
oh, definitely.
forever.
Definitely, man. It's like I'm here for a long time. So the thanks be to God. Thank
Yeah.
you too for everything you're doing for the
Thank
space.
you.
For the space, for from media to branding to advertising. And I need brands. I need the table to be littered with brands.
Right?
No, 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 no. Their brand or their brands. Now this is from me to you. My name is Ill Bliss, and I need this table littered because this is such a relevant podcast for us where we discuss the issues as they affect us in the creative space, and we need your money. And so when you're doing your marketing budget for the year, please cut out a huge part and send the money to this incredible young
Thank
woman.
you.
Thank
I'm
you.
expecting the money. I'm going to play this over and over and over again.
You should
As
put
advert.
it on the
Advert,
blogs.
that is
Put it on the blogs.
my advert for now. Sending it to every brand that I know via email. Please, Illbliss has a message for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Please,
so much.
they're wasting our time. They should have done it before now.
I don't know what they're waiting for. Now you have the word from Illbliss. So
Yes,
thank you
yes,
so
they
much,
do.
Illbliss.
Thank
You
you
are
so
an
much,
amazing
babe.
person.
Thank you.
I've
Thank
known
you.
you for the longest, and
Yes.
you've never stopped inspiring me.
Thank you.
So please don't stop.
No.
Say hi to your wife and beautiful kids for me.
I will. I will. I
Yeah.
will. I will.
So thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you.
All
babe.
right, guys, we've had an amazing time today. As usual, if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. And remember to like, share this with your friends. And like I said, if you have questions, drop it there and we'll answer. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Until I see you the next time, I remain your host, Linda Agwocha. Bye for now.